You're listening to the Everything Jewish 10 Minutes at a Time podcast, where you'll learn about every Jewish topic imaginable in about 10 minutes. And as always, I apologize for all of my Hebrew pronunciation. I know I'm going to pronounce Hebrew words wrong, so instead of getting annoyed, I give you permission to laugh at how I say things. Today's topic is the Jewish calendar. Now, before you start picturing Hanukkah, Passover, and Purim, let me stop you. There is a separate episode that has an overview of all of the holidays and specific episodes that go into details of each holiday. Today is about the calendar itself, how it's built, why it's different from the one hanging on your kitchen wall, and how it keeps Jewish life ticking along. Think of it as the operating system of Judaism. Just like your phone has iOS or Android setting all the rules for your apps, the Jewish calendar sets the rules for rituals, prayers, and timekeeping. And trust me, it's not as simple as January through December. It's a fascinating mix of lunar cycles, solar corrections, and good old-fashioned rabbinic math. The Jewish calendar is what's called lunar-solar. That means it's based on the moon for months, but adjusted with the sun to keep the seasons in place. If it were purely lunar, like the Islamic calendar, Jewish holidays would wander through the seasons. Passover in winter one year, summer the next. But because the Torah commands that Passover must happen in spring, rabbis had to add solar balance. The result is a brilliant but sometimes confusing system. Each month begins with the new moon, so months are either 29 or 30 days long. But since 12 lunar months equal about 354 days, and a solar year is about 365 days, there's a gap. How do you fix it? Simple. Every so often, you throw in an entire extra month. Yes, not just a leap day, but a leap month. That's why some years have 12 months and others have 13. Imagine if your Google Calendar suddenly added March Part 2. That's basically how the Jewish system keeps everything lined up. That extra month shows up in a repeating cycle known as the Metonic cycle, named after a Greek astronomer, but used by Jewish sages to keep the calendar balanced. Out of every 19 years, 7 of them have a leap month added, usually a second month of Adar, which is the month right before spring. So if you've ever heard someone mention Adar 1 and Adar 2, that's what's going on. This way, holidays stay in their proper seasons without drifting off course. For example, Passover stays in the spring, Sukkot stays in the fall, and Hanukkah stays in early winter. Without this adjustment, we'd be lighting menorahs in July. The cycle is so precise that it keeps lunar and solar years in harmony almost perfectly over centuries. In fact, if you rely on your phone's Hebrew calendar feature, you're depending on calculations worked out nearly 1,500 years ago. It's like ancient rabbis hacked time itself, writing code that still runs on our devices today. That's a pretty impressive upgrade. Now let's talk months. The Jewish calendar has 12 standard months, each with their own flavor. They are Tishrei, Cheshvan, Kislev, Tevet, Shevat, Adar, Nisan, Iyar, Sivan, Tammuz, Av, and Elul. Add in Adar 2 during leap years, and you get 13. These names aren't originally Hebrew, they actually come from Babylonian influence after the Jewish exile. In earlier times, months were numbered, not named. But over time, the names stuck, and they carry a mix of ancient history and Jewish tradition. Each month has its quirks. Some are short with 29 days, others long with 30. And to make things even more fun, certain months like Cheshvan and Kislev can vary depending on the year. That means some years have 353 days, some 354, some 355, and in leap years even more. It's like the Jewish calendar took one look at the neat 365-day Gregorian calendar and said, nah, we like things complicated. But that complexity is what keeps it accurate and deeply connected to Jewish rhythms. The Jewish calendar also runs on a different year count. According to Jewish tradition, the calendar starts with the creation of the world. That means while your 2025 planner says one thing, the Jewish calendar says we're in the year 5785. That number comes from rabbinic calculations in the Talmud, counting back from biblical genealogies. Is it a literal scientific age of the universe? Most Jews would say no. It's symbolic, part of religious tradition. But the number matters because it grounds Jewish time in a cosmic story. When Jews mark Rosh Hashanah, it's not just New Year's Day, it's year 5786 rolling in. That sense of continuity is powerful. Imagine blowing out birthday candles and realizing your birthday cake connects to 5,000 years of history. It's a way of saying Jewish life isn't floating in random time. It's plugged into a bigger narrative arc, stretching from creation to today. Every date carries that extra layer of meaning, turning calendars into reminders of heritage, history, and destiny. Another quirky feature of the Jewish calendar is the way days are counted. Instead of midnight to midnight, days run from sunset to sunset. That's why Shabbat starts Friday evening and ends Saturday evening, not Sunday morning like a weekend. The idea comes straight from Genesis. And there was evening, and there was morning, one day. So in Jewish life, evening kicks off the calendar day. That's also why holidays begin at sundown. For people used to digital calendars, this can get confusing fast. Imagine your phone buzzing with an event reminder saying holiday starts at 7:12 p.m. And you're like, wait, that's today? But once you get used to it, it actually makes sense. Nightfall marks transition, sunrise carries continuation, and life flows in cycles instead of hard edges. It's also why Friday afternoons in Jewish neighborhoods are so frantic. You're racing the sunset clock. Once the sun dips, the new day begins, whether you're ready or not. That rhythm shapes everything from prayers to meals to how you plan your weekends. The Jewish calendar also affects daily life through smaller cycles, not just the big holidays. For instance, the new moon, called Rosh Chodesh, is a mini holiday that marks the start of each month. Special prayers and sometimes celebrations highlight it. The weekly cycle, anchored by Shabbat, is also embedded in the calendar. Then there are seasonal fasts, mourning days, and agricultural milestones that aren't headline-grabbing holidays, but keep Jewish time full of texture. Farmers in ancient Israel tracked planting and harvest through this calendar, tying physical survival to spiritual rhythm. Even today, prayers reference rain in the winter months and dew in the summer months, connecting worship to seasonal patterns. This makes the Jewish calendar feel less like a scheduling app and more like a living ecosystem. It's not just marking time, it's syncing human life with cosmic and natural rhythms. That connection between the heavens above and life on the ground is what gives the Jewish calendar its unique character. It's both practical and profoundly symbolic at once. Historically, the Jewish calendar wasn't always fixed. In ancient times, months began when witnesses saw the new moon and testified before the court in Jerusalem. Rabbis would declare the new month, sometimes even sending messengers with torches on mountaintops to spread the word. Imagine your calendar depending on someone squinting at the sky and saying, "Yep, that's a sliver of moon." Over time, disagreements about sightings led to confusion. Different communities could be a day or two apart. To solve this, in the 4th century, Hillel II introduced a fixed mathematical calendar. From then on, calculations, not sightings, set the dates. That's the system Jews still use today, which means when your app tells you Rosh Chodesh falls on a Tuesday, it's relying on formulas set more than 1,600 years ago. It's a reminder that even though Jewish life adapts to modern technology, the backbone of the system comes from an ancient moment of brilliant standardization. One could say the Jewish calendar was one of history's first bows. The Jewish calendar also has unique rules to avoid awkward situations. For example, Yom Kippur can't fall right before or after Shabbat because having so many restrictions for 2 days in a row would be too harsh. Similarly, Hoshana Rabbah and other holidays are adjusted so they don't land in difficult back-to-back patterns. These tweaks, called dechiyot, or postponements, fine-tune the calendar to make life livable. There's also a built-in awareness of astronomy. The Jewish calendar tracks not just moons and seasons, but equinoxes and solstices. This makes it one of the most sophisticated pre-modern calendars, blending spiritual tradition with scientific observation. It's like if NASA and a team of rabbis collaborated on a timekeeping app. And even with all these rules, the system is astonishingly consistent. It's kept Jewish communities worldwide celebrating on the same days for centuries, whether in Morocco, Poland, or Los Angeles. In a people scattered across continents, the shared calendar became one of the strongest threads holding everyone together in rhythm and practice. So what's the takeaway about the Jewish calendar? It's not just a tool for scheduling holidays. It's the framework that keeps Jewish life grounded in both cosmic cycles and communal rhythms. It runs on moonlight and sunlight, seasons and symbols, tradition and math. It has months with Babylonian names, years counted from creation, days that start at sundown, and leap months that keep time from wandering. It's practical enough to guide farming, flexible enough to fit daily prayer, and profound enough to connect Jews across centuries. Holidays might get all the attention, but the structure behind them is what makes Jewish time unique. The Jewish calendar is a reminder that life isn't just about clock time or deadlines, it's about sacred rhythm. It's a way of saying the world turns not only by physics, but by meaning. So next time you hear someone mention the Hebrew date or leap month, you'll know it's more than just quirky tradition. It's the heartbeat of Jewish time, still ticking strong after thousands of years.